Ryan sat at his desk, staring blankly at the computer screen in front of him. The documents and spreadsheets he was supposed to be reviewing blurred together, his mind far away from the office. His phone buzzed with a message, breaking his trance. It was from Carla. "Did you tell her yet?" The text read. Ryan's heart sank. He hadn't, and he wasn't sure if he ever could. He knew he had to face the consequences of his actions, but the thought of losing Mia, the woman he truly loved, was unbearable. He took a deep breath and typed back a quick reply, "Not yet." Just as he sent the message, his office door swung open. It was Mia. Her eyes were red and puffy, evidence of the tears she had shed. She held a crumpled note in her hand, her fingers gripping it tightly. "Ryan, we need to talk," Mia said, her voice trembling with anger and hurt. Ryan's stomach dropped. This was it, the moment he had been dreading. "Mia, what's wrong?" he asked, trying to sound casual, though he knew it was futile. Mia threw the note onto his desk. "What's wrong? This is wrong, Ryan. Why did Carla leave this for me to find?" Ryan glanced at the note, his heart pounding. It was one of the clues Carla had deliberately left, a fake love letter detailing their affair. "Mia, I can explain." "Explain what?" Mia interrupted, her voice rising. "That you've been cheating on me? That you've been lying to me every single day? How could you do this to us?" Ryan stood up, reaching for her. "Mia, please listen. It was a mistake. I never wanted to hurt you." Mia backed away, her eyes filled with betrayal. "A mistake? A mistake that lasted for months? How could you?" Ryan felt the weight of his guilt crashing down on him. He had no answers that could justify his actions. "I was weak. Carla. She was there, and I was stupid. I'm so sorry, Mia." Mia shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "Sorry? Sorry isn't enough, Ryan. I trusted you. I loved you, and you threw it all away." Ryan watched as Mia turned and left the office, the door slamming shut behind her. He sank back into his chair, his head in his hands. He had lost her, and it was all his fault. The days following the revelation were a blur for Ryan. He moved through life in a haze, plagued by guilt and confusion. He couldn't shake the image of Mia's devastated face from his mind. Every corner of their home reminded him of the life they had built together and the life he had so carelessly destroyed. At work, Ryan was barely functional. His colleagues noticed the change, but he offered no explanations. At home, the silence was unbearable. Mia had retreated to her parents' house, leaving Ryan alone with his thoughts. He missed her terribly, but he knew that reaching out would only bring her more pain. One night, as he sat on the couch staring at the darkened TV screen, his phone buzzed again. It was Carla. "We need to talk. It's important," the text read. Ryan sighed and replied, "Come over." Carla arrived shortly after, her face a mix of determination and anxiety. She sat down next to Ryan, too close for his comfort. "Ryan, there's something you need to know," she began, her voice steady but her eyes avoiding his. Ryan looked at her, feeling a knot form in his stomach. "What is it, Carla?" She took a deep breath. "I'm pregnant, Ryan. It's yours." Ryan felt like the floor had fallen out from beneath him. "Pregnant?" He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Carla nodded. "I'm sure. And Ryan, we need to think about our future. About the baby's future." Ryan's mind raced. This changed everything. He felt trapped, cornered by his own mistakes. "Carla, I don't know what to say." Carla reached for his hand, her grip firm. "Ryan, we have to do the right thing. For the baby. We need to be a family." Ryan pulled his hand away, his emotions swirling in a tumultuous storm.
"Carla, I love Mia."
"I can't just abandon her." Carla's eyes hardened. "Mia knows about us, Ryan. She'll never take you back. And what about our child? Don't you want to do right by them?" Ryan felt a crushing weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He couldn't deny his duty to his unborn child, but the thought of a life with Carla filled him with dread. He was torn between his lingering love for Mia and the new, unwanted obligation to Carla and their child. As Ryan sat in silence, grappling with his predicament, the doorbell rang. He opened it to find Mia standing there, her face a mask of resolve. "Can we talk?" Ryan nodded, stepping aside to let her in. Carla's presence didn't seem to faze Mia, who walked straight into the living room and sat down. "I've been thinking," Mia began, her tone cold and detached. "About everything. About us. And about the baby." Ryan sat across from her, his heart pounding. "Mia, I'm so sorry. I never wanted any of this." Mia held up a hand, silencing him. "I don't want to hear your apologies, Ryan. I just want the truth. Are you going to marry her?" Ryan glanced at Carla, who was watching the exchange with a mixture of hope and fear. I don't know," he admitted. Mia's eyes flashed with anger. "You don't know? Ryan, you need to make a decision. You can't keep stringing us along." Carla took a deep breath and spoke up. "Mia, I know you hate me, and I don't blame you. But Ryan and we have a child to think about now." Mia turned to Carla, her expression unreadable. "I don't hate you, Carla. I pity you. But this isn't about you or me anymore. It's about Ryan making a choice." Ryan felt the full weight of their words. He knew he had to decide, and quickly. But every option felt like a path to misery. "I need time," he said finally. "I need to think." Mia stood up, her resolve unwavering. "Take all the time you need, Ryan. But remember, actions have consequences, and you can't run from them forever." Ryan sat in the dimly lit living room, his head in his hands. The weight of the past few weeks bore down on him, suffocating him with a relentless pressure. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Mia's devastated face, and the thought of having a baby with Carla twisted his stomach into knots. His phone buzzed on the coffee table. He glanced at the screen and saw yet another message from Carla. "We need to talk about the baby. It's important." He let out a long, weary sigh. He knew he couldn't ignore her forever, but every interaction with Carla left him feeling more trapped and hopeless. Her treacherous behavior had no bounds, and the realization that she had orchestrated this entire situation gnawed at his sanity. Ryan thought back to the beginning, to the first time Carla had seduced him. It seemed so innocent at first, just harmless flirting at a party. But as he replayed the events in his mind, he saw the signs he had missed, the calculated glances, the strategic touches, the way she had maneuvered herself into his life. She had planned this from the start, and he had fallen right into her trap. Carla's pregnancy had only escalated her manipulation. She played the victim perfectly, constantly reminding him of his responsibilities and pleading for marriage for the sake of the child. The realization that he had been used as a pawn in her twisted game filled him with a simmering rage. Just then, the front door creaked open, and Carla walked in. She was glowing, her hand resting protectively on her barely there bump. Ryan's heart sank at the sight. How could something so pure and innocent as a child come from such treachery? "Ryan, we need to talk," Carla said, her voice deceptively soft. Ryan clenched his fists, struggling to keep his composure. "What is it, Carla?" Carla sat down across from him, her expression a mix of concern and determination. "We can't keep living like this. We need to think about our future, about the baby's future." "Our future?" Ryan scoffed, unable to hide his bitterness. "You mean the future you planned all along, don't you?" Carla's eyes widened in feigned innocence. "What are you talking about, Ryan? This wasn't planned. It just happened." Ryan stood up, pacing the room. "Stop lying, Carla. I see it now. The seduction, the pregnancy, your pleas for marriage. It was all your plan from the start." Carla's expression hardened, the mask slipping for a brief moment. "Maybe I did have a plan, Ryan, but it doesn't change the fact that there's a baby on the way, a baby who needs both parents." Ryan felt his anger boiling over. "A baby you trapped me into having. You manipulated me, Carla. You used me." Carla stood up, her eyes flashing with anger. "You think you're so innocent, Ryan? You went along with it. You made your choices. Now you have to live with them." Ryan shook his head, feeling the walls closing in around him. "This isn't a life, Carla. This is a prison." Carla took a step closer, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "You think you can just walk away? Think again. You're tied to me now, Ryan. Forever. Ryan's despair deepened. The realization that he was trapped, bound to Carla and their unborn child, was almost unbearable. He felt like he was drowning, and there was no way out. As Carla turned to leave, she glanced back over her shoulder. We'll talk more tomorrow. Think about what's best for the baby, Ryan. The door clicked shut behind her, and Ryan sank back onto the couch, his mind racing. How had he let things get so far? How could he ever find a way out of this nightmare? In the silence of the living room, Ryan's thoughts spiraled. He knew one thing for sure. Carla's treachery had pushed him to the edge, and he was teetering on the brink of darkness. With that, she walked out, leaving Ryan and Carla in a silence thick with tension. Ryan knew that no matter what he decided, someone would be hurt, and the knowledge of that tore at his very soul. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing stories.